What's up, y'all? Thank you for coming back to my channel. This one is gonna be about how Stephen A went on the Hardly Initiated podcast, and they were talking about his sex life, and then I guess Chris Broussard got a whiff of it, and he had his own opinions on it because he's been a married man for like 30 plus years, and he's a Christian, and he wasn't buying what Stephen A. Smith was saying, and basically Stephen A. Smith was saying that he's so knowledgeable of marriage. So the host was like, "Well, how come you ain't married?" And he was all like, "Oh, because he knows he's gonna cheat and this and that." And he's saying that he's a God fearing man and he's a Christian. And these type of people are the ones that make Christians looking bad. You is not a God fearing man. The whole interview he's talking about why would he get married? Because he knows himself and he knows he ain't gonna be faithful and all this. But if you're a God fearing Christian man, you know you don't have sex outside of what? Marriage. So you are serving the Lord with your mouth and not with your heart. You know what I'm saying? And his actions ain't lining up. So Chris Broussard saw that and he put his 2 cents in saying that they both basically work the same job, traveling and doing things, but obviously in different roles or whatever. And he's been married for 30 years and he's basically saying that it's a choice, you know what I'm saying, to be faithful. And then the host of the Hardly Initiated was all like, "Oh, well, they're saying that they hear a lot of guys saying this, but they never met a guy who was actually faithful and didn't cheat on his wife." They're like, when someone says that, they laugh, and, that's bullshit because, everybody cheats and all this stuff. And just look at Chris Broussard's face through the whole interview. It's like he's just, he laughs here and there, blah, blah, but, he's righteous and he made that choice and he's standing on it. And they were just having a big discussion about how obviously being faithful is a choice, but it got to be a part of your moral and who you are up as a person. Because if you get married at 18, 19, 20, it don't matter the age. If you're a dude, like most dudes, you grew up and you trying to chase these hoes, you know what I'm saying? You trying to get your nut like a squirrel. And you get married, you lose your whole identity of who you are as a person, you know what I'm saying? And now marriage could be, it will be a struggle for you because you lost your whole identity of being a Mac, a pimp, a player, whatever you want to call it, you know what I'm saying? And now you got to be faithful to one person. And if that's not in your value system, then obviously it's going to be real difficult. And that's basically what they're saying. But Chris Broussard basically called out Stephen A. Smith, like, "Bro, you ain't a Christian. Like, how you gonna say you a God-fearing man when you ain't even married or you having sex outside of marriage?" And some people are like, "Oh, what does that have to do with God and this and that?" And it's like, man, this guy isn't, even if it doesn't have to do with sex, like this guy's fornicating and lusting over women and all this. And like, man, it's clear people don't read their word and stuff. And that is easier said than done, man. A lot of people acting like they perfect, but I'm happy Chris Broussard called them out upon that because a lot of people live like this, these double lives, thinking that they're holy and righteous, and on the side they're having flings on the weekend and this and that. But a man, Chris Broussard, married for 30 years, is saying he made the choice to be faithful and he never cheated. And these guys are looking at him like he's an alien. And they don't believe it, you know what I'm saying? But salute to Chris Broussard for making a choice and being righteous and standing on his vows and his principle. Because traveling, women, that's what Stephen A. Smith was saying, women throwing themselves at him, it's so easy. Like, how do you say no? And Chris Broussard is like, man, you gotta not put yourself in those situations so you don't even tempt yourself. Because if you put yourself in a situation and you tempt yourself, the flesh is weak, bro. 8 out of 9 times, most people are gonna fold and cheat or whatever. And it's a sad society that pushes, not families and righteous beliefs and all that. And I thought it was awesome that Chris Broussard called out Stephen A. Smith, claiming he's a God-fearing Christian man, but he's having sex outside of marriage because he knows himself and he thinks he's justifying it. When in reality, Chris Broussard had the same career for 30 plus years as well, and he been faithful to his wife. Like, go figure, man. Whichever side you are on, if you are being a player, or you are like Chris Broussard taking that righteous path, man. Get aligned with the maker, man. Get yourself right, man. Have integrity, you know what I'm saying? Don't be out here breaking people's hearts, ruining people's lives, which sounds corny and cliche or whatever, but for real, if you're gonna sign up for something, commit to it. Don't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out, lukewarm and all that. But salute to Chris Broussard for calling out Stephen A. Smith, claiming he's right, a God-fearing Christian and all this stuff when he's having sex outside of marriage and all this, trying to justify it. But I don't know if y'all seen it. Go check it out if you have. Comment below. Like this one. I appreciate you coming back to my channel. Catch me on the next one. Peace.